Hey YouTube, I was filming and I think my phone's getting too hot out here in the Miami weather, so I don't know if it recorded any of it. It looks like it's recording now, so I'm just gonna keep talking and going with it. Hopefully I'm getting something, you know. I guess I'll see when I get home, you know. It is pretty sweltering out here in South Beach today, but it's still gorgeous. You can like, subscribe on this video, follow me, anything, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Anyway, as you can see, this is a little bit different part of South Beach. I got volleyball nets right here, all the Art Deco buildings of Ocean Drive are right there. Muscle Beach is right over here. This is it's a cool area. It's connected to the beach and not. Like, we have this barrier right here to kind of protect us from hurricanes and stuff. But as you can see, it's still all sandy where I'm at. So anyway, in the last video, I had just left Korea and I moved to Hawaii. And Hawaii was really cool. I did like living in Hawaii. I mean, it's Hawaii. You know, I saw the other islands. Big Island was my favorite. Like I was talking about before, waiting tables, bartending. It's just so easy to find jobs anywhere in America doing that. You know, I'm a bartender. Bartending, you do have to kind of know what you're doing. You got to know how to make drinks. It's a little more specific than, but waiting tables, I mean, anybody can wait tables. It's so mindless. I've seen some really bad waiters that just kind of still make money, you know what I mean? Or servers, waitresses and waiters, you know, they still make money even though they're terrible at their job, you know. So it's something I would definitely recommend, like especially if you're still in college or younger, to go ahead and just try to get into it, because it's something you could always fall back onto. You can get a job and start immediately. There's no waiting, like there's no 3-week process to get a job, none of that bull. It's basically, hey, can you start, you know, Thursday? It's like, all right. Like, I've definitely went into an interview and got hired same day and started the next day. You know what I mean? Like, it's that type of industry. Like, they're just used to people coming in and going out. I lived on Oahu, went and traveled to the other islands, of course. Big Island, it was my favorite. Hawaii is an interesting concept because the people there, they work really hard, you know, but it's still really expensive because you're on an island. And it's something I never really thought about. But the wages are low because, you know, there's no real big industry on Hawaii. You're on an island in the middle of the ocean that only has 1 million people. So unless you're in the hotel industry, there's really very little opportunity there for profits, you know what I mean? I lived there about 6 or 7 years ago. I don't know off the top of my head, but we didn't even have Amazon yet. And it was like 6 years ago. Everybody had Amazon, but like, it wasn't really a thing on Hawaii yet, because how are they gonna distribute and do all that? It just, you know? So for that reason, the industry just isn't as big over there. So the wages are low. And it's something I never really realized. So, you know, I wasn't making enough money. I was just barely surviving. So I'm like, man, this sucks, you know? I had some money saved up. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. And I went ahead and went to Indonesia to go on like a little surfing trip. So basically we were in Bali, which is a beautiful area. I don't know if it's as pretty as South Beach, but I mean, it is gorgeous. Like, as you can see, South Beach is completely stunning. So I'm trying to get as much great video as I can, because today is just perfect and I want you all to come visit, because it's the greatest spot in America in my opinion. Anyway, so I'm surfing in Indonesia and we had this bright idea, like, you know, Thailand's right there. We look at it and a flight to Thailand was like 80 bucks. I'm like, screw it, I'm going to Thailand. And so I ended up staying in Thailand for about a year. Obviously I like Thailand, but it's also really cheap. And if you learn just a little bit of the language, I mean, just the basics, like things like how to say how much and the numbers, like, it's so much cheaper It's like ridiculous how cheap it is. I mean, you could get like a full meal for like $1. Now they'll charge you like $5 if you don't speak Thai, but even like $5 for a good meal is like incredible, you know? So I love Thailand. Probably where I'll end up retiring at some point. I like Miami better. Miami is still expensive because it's America, you know? So then after my year in Thailand, I went back to LA. And I was in LA doing accounting, doing bartending, like all these different jobs, because like LA is so expensive and everybody's kind of working the grind. I mean, they don't grind as much as like New Yorkers do, but it's definitely kind of a hamster wheel city. You know what I mean? You're definitely working, going to work, always moving, like little downtime. Like there's just, you constantly got to be doing something. You know, the wages are great. You do make good money there, but it's a constant grind. You know, some of the same crap they do in New York, that's what happens in LA. And so I was like, all right, well, I've never been to Miami, so I came visit for a week, and I'm like, screw this, I'm moving here. So I stopped in New Orleans, New Orleans area, stayed with my mom, and waited for the hurricane to ride out, and then I moved down right after the hurricane. Loved it, stayed here about a year, and for some reason, like I would walk around, I'd see all these palm trees and sand and everything, and internally, I would just tell myself, hey, man, I love California, but I was in Miami the whole time. Like the fact is, I was always in Miami, and I'm telling myself I love California, so subconsciously I'm tricking myself into believing I'm in California, but I was really in Miami. Well, all that self-conscious tricking eventually led me to move way back across the country. And I mean, it's not like these two cities are close. They're literally on the opposite ends of the country. It's like 4,400 miles, you know? So I went back to California. I was there for about another year and a half. Love it. Again, love Los Angeles. I'm not somebody that hates it, you know? But that hamster wheel lifestyle is just not for me, you know? I don't like that grind. I do like making more money, but man, I don't want that lifestyle. I hate that lifestyle. So I eventually moved back to Miami in January 2020. Literally right before, you know, pandemic started. And I got an apartment March 12th. Thank God, right? Yeah. Because I would not have had a place to live. I was just staying in like temporary solution, and the pandemic like crashed everything on what, March 15th, 16th, something like that. Literally 3 or 4 days, I got approved for my apartment. And you know, and then I was working with Amazon during the pandemic, and then the bars opened back up, so I got back into the bar industry. Just because you can make more money, you know what I mean? You can make more money. I want y'all to see South Beach. I don't want you to just look at the barrier the whole time. But so, you know, and that's what I was doing for the bulk of recently, and then I quit. And I got another job, but I'm thinking I'm gonna quit that one too. Like I worked this whole weekend, and I was drained, man. Like I was really, really drained, and I don't want to do that. That's not for me. I don't like that lifestyle. I don't like being so exhausted you can't get out of bed. Yeah, they make good money over there, but I don't know. I'm probably gonna just quit, because like, it's the other good thing about bartending is it's super easy to just find jobs. Again, I got some money saved up, and I'd rather focus on YouTube and real estate right now anyway. That is a brief summary of my life, so that you guys get to know me a little better. Again, you can like, subscribe, please. It helps. You can follow me, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, whatever. So that's the summary of my life, and we'll come up with some more content, and we're gonna talk soon.